let me tell you something that nobody in your family ever told you. The bank is not your enemy. But the way you are using the bank right now, that is your enemy. Most people walk into a bank twice in their life. Once to open a savings account, and once to beg for a loan. And both times, they walk out feeling like the bank did them a favor. But here is the brutal truth. The bank is not doing you a favor. The bank is running a business. And right now, you are the product. You work hard. You save money. You put it in a savings account that gives you 3% interest. The bank takes that same money, lends it out at 9%, and keeps the difference. Every single month. Year after year. While you sleep, while you work, while you celebrate your salary hike, the bank is quietly making money off your money. That is the game. And most people never find out they are even playing it. But today, that changes. Today I am going to show you exactly how the wealthy think about debt, about loans, about leverage, and how they use the very same banking system to multiply their wealth instead of giving it away. This is not about getting rich quick. This is not about cheating the system. This is not about taking stupid risks with money you cannot afford to lose. This is about understanding the rules of a game that has always existed and finally deciding to play it on your terms. By the end of this video, you will never look at a loan the same way again. You will not fear interest. You will understand it. You will not see the bank as a wall. You will see it as a fuel station. And fuel is not the enemy. The driver is. So if you are ready, let us begin. Before we go further, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now. Every week I break down money, wealth, and financial strategy in a way that is simple, honest, and actually useful. And if this video helps even one person think differently about money, smash that like button. It costs you nothing and it helps this reach more people who need it. Chapter 1: The 3 kinds of people. I want to start with something simple. Look around you. Everyone you know falls into one of 3 groups when it comes to money and loans. The first group uses credit to survive. When they need something and do not have the money, they swipe the card. They take the personal loan. They buy the phone on Emmy. They pay the minimum balance every month. And they wonder why, no matter how much they earn, they never seem to get ahead. The bank loves these people. Not because they are bad people, but because they are uninformed people. And uninformed people pay the most interest. The second group is smarter. They hate debt. They save before they spend. They buy the car only when they have the full amount. They pay off the credit card every month. They sleep easy knowing they owe nobody anything. These people have better financial discipline than the first group. And they deserve respect for that, but here is the problem: they are leaving enormous wealth on the table. They have confused all debt with bad debt. And that single misunderstanding costs them decades of compounding. And then there is the third group. These people understand something the other 2 do not. They understand that debt, when used correctly, is not a cost. It is a lever. And a lever, as anyone who has studied basic physics knows, allows you to move something far heavier than you could ever lift with your hands alone. The third group does not avoid debt. They do not fear debt. They design it. They structure it. They use it to acquire things that pay them back with interest while the bank finances the whole thing. They make the bank work for them. And today, I am going to teach you how to join that third group. Quick pause here. Which group do you currently belong to? Be honest with yourself. Drop a 1, 2, or 3 in the comments right now. No judgment. This is just awareness. And awareness is where everything starts. Chapter 2: The lie you were told about debt. Debt is dangerous. Never borrow money. If you cannot afford it, do not buy it. We have all heard these lines. From parents. From relatives. From well-meaning people who lived through financial hardship and wanted to protect us. And they are not entirely wrong. Irresponsible debt is dangerous. Emotional debt is destructive. But here is the lie buried inside that advice: the assumption that all debt is the same. It is not. There are two completely different types of debt in this world. And confusing them is one of the most expensive mistakes a person can make. The first type is consumption debt. This is the debt you take to buy things that lose value the moment you touch them. The new smartphone. The luxury vacation. The clothes. The upgraded car. Every rupee of interest you pay on consumption debt is money that makes you poorer. It drains you. It shrinks you. It funds your lifestyle today at the cost of your freedom tomorrow. The second type is acquisition debt. This is the debt you take to buy things that create value over time. A rental property that earns monthly income. A business that generates revenue. An asset that appreciates. With acquisition debt, you are not paying interest out of your pocket, the asset is. And the asset is also growing in value. So you are winning twice. Same bank. Same loan process. Completely different outcome. Here is the question nobody asks: why do the wealthiest people on earth use massive amounts of debt? Why do the biggest corporations borrow billions every year? Why do billionaires finance assets instead of paying cash? Because they understand that used correctly, borrowed money multiplies your power without requiring more of your time. If you have 1 lakh rupees and you invest it, you earn on 1 lakh. But if you use 1 lakh as a down payment and borrow 9 more lakh, you now have 10 lakh working for you. The returns come on 10 lakh. The loan cost comes on 9. The difference is yours. That is leverage. And leverage is how the wealthy accelerate beyond what savings alone could ever achieve. Now I want to ask you something directly. Has anyone in your life ever taught you the difference between good debt and bad debt? Drop a yes or no in the comments. I am genuinely curious how many people grew up with real financial education versus learning it on their own later in life. Chapter 3: Borrow for acquisition. Never for ego. This is the first rule. And it is the most important one. Write it down if you have to. Borrow for acquisition. Never for ego. Because there is a line. It is thin. It is invisible. And most people cross it without ever noticing. On one side of the line, strategic debt. On the other side, ego debt. Strategic debt builds your net worth. Ego debt builds your image. And images do not pay bills. Let me give you 2 examples. Same city. Same bank. Same loan amount. Person A borrows 15 lakh to buy a brand new car. Shiny. Impressive. Neighbors notice. Family is proud. But every month, that ME leaves their account. The car drops in value from the moment it is driven out. 5 years later, the car is worth half. The loan is paid. And person A is 15 lakh poorer, plus interest. Person B borrows 15 lakh as a down payment on a small flat in a growing area of their city. The flat is rented out. The rent covers most of the ME. The property appreciates over 5 years. Person B's equity grows. The tenant is partly funding the asset. And 5 years later, person B is wealthier not because they earned more, but because they borrowed smarter. Same loan amount. Completely different direction. Now here is where ego debt gets sneaky. It never announces itself as ego. It disguises itself as need. I need a better car for work. I deserve a nice holiday after everything I have been through. Everyone in my circle has upgraded. I cannot fall behind. These feel like valid reasons. They are not. They are rationalizations. And the bank will happily approve that loan because the bank does not care what you buy. They care that you pay interest. Only one of you needs to think strategically. Make sure it is you. Ask yourself one question before every borrowing decision: does this asset generate income or generate appearances? If it generates income, consider it. If it generates appearances, walk away. I want to know, have you ever taken a loan for something that, looking back, you wish you had not for shame, just for honesty? Share it in the comments. Sometimes acknowledging a past financial mistake is the most powerful thing you can do for your future. Chapter 4: Leverage is power. Over leverage is collapse. Now that you understand why to borrow, we need to talk about how much. Because this is where even smart people destroy themselves. Leverage is like electricity. The right amount powers your home. Too much burns it down. And the wires look the same either way until something goes wrong. Over leverage is not borrowing a large amount. Over leverage is borrowing more than your structure can absorb when things do not go according to plan. And things will not always go according to plan. Tenants stop paying. Markets slow down. Interest rates move. A job is lost. An emergency hits. The business has a bad quarter. This is not pessimism. This is realism. And wealth builders plan for realism, not for best-case scenarios. Here is the most dangerous sentence in personal finance: this will work as long as everything works. The moment your strategy depends on everything going right, you are not investing. You are gambling. Let me show you the difference. Over-leveraged investor buys 3 properties with maximum possible loans. Each one barely breaks even. Has no emergency reserves. Everything looks fine on paper. Then one tenant stops paying rent for 2 months. The investor covers that ME from salary. Then a pipe bursts, repair costs $30,000. Then interest rates adjust upward slightly. Suddenly 3 properties that were fine are all bleeding money simultaneously. Stress. Panic. Forced decisions. Bad outcomes. Smart leveraged investor buys 2 properties with comfortable loan amounts below maximum approval. Keeps a 6-month reserve fund untouched. Each property generates positive cash flow even after ME. One tenant stops paying, the reserve handles it calmly. Rates move slightly, still cash flow positive. Repair needed, reserve covers it. This investor sleeps at night. And sleeping at night is not just comfort. Calm investors make better decisions. Better decisions build more wealth. 3 principles to protect you from over leverage. First, never borrow to the maximum of what you are approved for. Banks approve based on what protects them, not what is good for you. Be more conservative than the bank. Second, always hold a minimum 6-month cash buffer. This is non-negotiable. This is your margin. Without margin, one bad month becomes a crisis. Third, let cash flow be your foundation, not appreciation. Appreciation is a bonus. Cash flow is survival. If the asset pays you every month even after the ME, you are stable. If you are only hoping it goes up in value, you are speculating. Controlled boldness. That is the goal. Not fearlessness. Not recklessness. Controlled. calculated, protected, dash dash. Here is a question for you: if you already own or are planning to buy an investment asset, do you have a 6-month reserve set aside not for the asset, for yourself? Drop your answer below. This community learns from each other, and your comment could help someone else think about something they have been ignoring. Dash dash. Chapter 5: The Mathematics of Spread. If you understand one concept from this entire video, make it this one. Spread. Spread is the difference between what your debt costs you and what your asset earns you. That is it. That is the whole formula. Asset return minus cost of capital equals spread. If spread is positive, you are building wealth with someone else's money. If spread is negative, you are subsidizing an asset that is not working for you. Let me make this tangible. You borrow 20 lakh at 8% annual interest. That costs you 1,60,000 per year. Now that 20 lakh is used to buy rental property. The rent after expenses, maintenance, vacancy allowance, and taxes puts 2,40,000 per year in your pocket. 2,40,000 minus 1,60,000 equals 80,000 positive spread. You made 80,000 rupees this year using money that was not yours. That is the power of positive spread. Now flip it. Same loan. Same cost. But the property gives you only 1,20,000 net after all expenses. Now you have a negative spread of 40,000. You are feeding the property. The property is not feeding you. That is not investment. That is a liability wearing an investment's clothes. This is why the wealthy do not fall in love with properties. They fall in love with numbers. They do not care if the flat is beautiful. They care if the numbers work. Calculate gross income. Then subtract everything. Property tax. Society maintenance. Repair fund. Insurance. Vacancy months. Assume at least 1 or 2 months empty every year. Management costs if you are not managing yourself. Only after all of that, what is the actual net return? Calculate that. Compare it to your loan cost. If the spread is positive and stable, proceed. If it is negative or too thin, walk away without emotion. Now here is where it gets exciting. Spread compounds. Your first property creates a positive spread of 80,000 per year. You save that. You add to it. In 2 or 3 years, you have enough for another down payment. Property 2 creates its own spread. Now the combined spread accelerates the timeline to property 3. You did not inject new salary each time. You reinvested spread. The system began feeding itself. This is how the wealthy expand without working more hours. The math does the work. You just have to set it up correctly and protect it. Dash dash. What kind of assets are you most interested in investing in? Real estate, stocks, mutual funds, a business? Drop it in the comments. I would love to know how this community thinks about investing, and we might even do a dedicated video based on your answers. Dash dash. Chapter 6: Inflation is either your silent enemy or your greatest ally. Most people understand inflation as rising prices. Groceries cost more. Petrol costs more. Rent goes up. Everything gets more expensive, and your salary somehow never quite keeps up. And for people who hold cash, that is exactly what inflation is. A silent tax. Every year your savings lose purchasing power without anyone touching them. But for people who hold appreciating assets financed with fixed debt, inflation tells a completely different story. Let me walk you through it. You take a home loan today at 8.5% fixed for 20 years. Your ME is fixed. It does not move. It does not adjust. It stays the same for 2 decades. Now imagine inflation runs at 5 to 6% per year. 10 years from now, that ME feels smaller. Not because it changed but because your income has likely risen. Rental income from the property has likely risen. The property's value has likely risen. But the ME still the same number. You are repaying the bank with weaker rupees while your asset grows in stronger value. That gap between what you owe and what the asset is worth is silent, automatic, guaranteed wealth creation. As long as the asset appreciates and the loan is fixed. Now think about the person who avoided debt and held cash instead. Their 5 lakh rupees in the savings account in 2015 buys significantly less in 2025 than it did when they deposited it. The bank gave them 4% interest. Inflation ran at 6%. They actually lost 2% purchasing power every single year while feeling safe. Safety that quietly makes you poorer is not safety. It is slow erosion. The lesson is not to recklessly borrow. The lesson is to understand that inflation is a permanent feature of modern economies. Governments run inflation deliberately. And asset owners benefit from it. Cash holders lose to it. Which side of that equation do you want to be on? 2 conditions must be met for inflation to work in your favor. The debt must be fixed rate. And the asset must either appreciate or generate income that rises with inflation. If both are true, inflation is your partner. If either is missing, inflation can still hurt you. Structure matters. Always. Quick question, and I love hearing your honest answers. Do you feel like inflation has helped you or hurt you over the last 5 years? Drop your thoughts below. Real conversations about money are rare, and this comment section is a place where we can have them. Chapter 7: Become the borrower banks compete for. There are 2 types of borrowers. The first type walks into a bank hoping to be approved. They are nervous. They do not know their numbers. They accept whatever terms they are offered. They are grateful just to get the loan. The bank holds all the power in this relationship. The second type walks in prepared. They know their credit score, their debt-to-income ratio, their asset value, their repayment track record. They have options. They negotiate. They sometimes make the bank compete for their business. The borrower holds all the power in this relationship. Your goal is to become the second type. Here is how. Credit score is leverage capacity. Not a number. Not a grade. A tool. A strong credit score lowers your interest rate. A lower interest rate increases your spread. A higher spread builds wealth faster. Every decimal point of credit score improvement translates to real money over a loan lifetime. Protected like a financial asset. Pay every obligation on time. Every time. Not because you have to. Because it is strategic. Utilization signals control. Banks do not just look at whether you pay, they look at how stretched you are. If your credit card is always near its limit, it signals financial stress. Keep utilization low. Show the bank that you have access to credit but do not depend on it. Availability is power. Desperation is weakness. Reserves make you attractive. A borrower who comes in with 6 months of reserves looks stable. A borrower who has nothing saved looks desperate. Banks charge desperate people more. Because risk is higher. Build reserves first. Borrow second. Income presentation matters. If you are salaried, documented income tells a clean story. If you are self-employed, understand how lenders read your income tax returns. Sometimes aggressive tax saving reduces your borrowing power. Wealth building is holistic. Tax strategy and leverage strategy must be aligned. Relationships compound. If you are building a serious investment portfolio, cultivate relationships with specific bank managers or loan officers. A name, a track record, a face, these matter in relationship lending. Better relationships often yield better terms. Better terms improve spread. And here is the shift that changes everything psychologically. When you reach a point where banks are comfortable with your profile, you stop asking permission. You start structuring deals. You request terms. You negotiate rates. You choose the lender that serves your plan best. That is a different feeling. A different posture. A different energy. And it starts today with every payment, every decision, every percentage point of credit score you protect or improve. If you are finding this video valuable, this is a great time to hit like and subscribe. I put out content like this regularly, and every like tells the algorithm to put this in front of more people who need to hear it. Now let us keep going. Chapter 8: Deploying Debt into Compounding Machines. Access to capital is useless without knowing where to place it. Borrowing is the easy part, the bank does that with you. Deploying intelligently, that is the part only you can do. And the goal is simple: deploy into things that compound. Compounding is not a concept. It is a force. It is the reason a single disciplined decision made at 30 can be worth a crore by 50. It is the reason the wealthy get wealthier without proportional effort. It is patient, invisible, and mathematically relentless. But here is the thing about compounding: it requires time, and time requires consistency, and consistency requires stability. You cannot compound through chaos. So what are the assets that actually compound? Cash flowing real estate. A rental property that generates positive income every month beyond its ME is a compounding machine. The rent comes in. Part goes to the loan. The rest is yours. Over years the loan shrinks, the rent rises, and the equity grows automatically, while you live your life. Then that cash flow funds your next acquisition. And the system accelerates. Scalable businesses. A business with strong margins that can grow revenue without proportional cost growth compounds beautifully. When borrowed capital is used to build a business, not to sustain it, but to scale what is already working, the return on that leverage can be extraordinary. But only if the underlying business is healthy. Never borrow to save a failing business. Only to scale a proven one. Systematic equity investing. For those building through markets, consistent monthly investments into diversified instruments compound powerfully over decades. SIPs are a compounding machine for the disciplined investor. The key word is disciplined. Panic selling breaks compounding. Patience builds it. Digital and intellectual assets. Courses. Digital products. Licensing. Platforms. If you borrow to build and scale something digital and the demand is real and validated, the margin structure can compound dramatically. But validate before you borrow. Idea stage businesses do not justify debt. Now here is the behavior that kills compounding, and it is more common than any bad investment decision. Consuming the profit. Your leveraged property produces a positive spread of 8,000 rupees per month. You feel good. You upgrade your phone. Take a better holiday. Eat at nicer restaurants. The 8,000 disappears into lifestyle. You just neutralize it, your leverage. If instead that 8,000 is saved, reinvested, used to build reserves and eventually fund the next acquisition, you have activated compounding. Amateurs consume profit. Professionals reinvest profit. That one behavior separates the two groups more than anything else. Let me ask you this: if your investments started giving you extra money every month right now, what would you do with it? Be honest. Lifestyle upgrade or reinvest? Drop your answer in the comments. There is no wrong answer here, this is just about knowing yourself. Chapter 9: The Psychological War of Debt. Everything I have shared with you so far is logic. But logic is not what breaks most people's wealth journey. Emotion does. Because debt is not just a financial experience. It is a psychological one. And your psychology will either protect your strategy or destroy it long before the numbers ever get a chance to work. Let me show you the 2 psychological traps that catch even the most informed investors. The first trap is fear. Fear of debt keeps people small. They refuse leverage entirely. They stick to savings accounts and fixed deposits and feel virtuous about it. Meanwhile, inflation quietly erodes their wealth. They are safe. And slowly, invisibly, they are falling behind. Fear is not wisdom. Fear without understanding is just avoidance. And avoidance has a price, it is just a price you never see on a statement. The second trap is overconfidence. This one is more dangerous because it arrives wearing success. Your first investment works. Returns are good. You feel sharp, capable, ahead of the crowd. So you expand faster. You take on more loans. You skip the stress testing. You start believing this always works. And then one thing shifts. One market softens. One Emmy goes unpaid. One tenant leaves. And suddenly the whole structure that felt unshakable is rattling. Confidence that was earned through one good outcome has not been tested. And leverage ruthlessly tests everything. The goal is neither fear nor overconfidence. The goal is emotional neutrality toward money. The wealthy are genuinely boring with their financial decisions. They do not celebrate loans. They do not dramatize payments. They calculate. They execute. They adjust. No drama. No ego. No identity wrapped up in whether they are winning or losing this month. If you check your loan interest daily with anxiety, you borrowed too much. If you never check your numbers at all, you are not in control. The right posture is calm, informed, consistent oversight. Structure that is built well does not need you panicking over it. It needs you monitoring it. And here is the deeper truth: your relationship with debt must be neutral. Not ashamed. Not proud. Neutral. Debt is arithmetic. It responds to structure. It does not care about your feelings. But your feelings will absolutely affect the decisions you make about it. Panic leads to selling at the worst time. Greed leads to buying at the worst time. Calm leads to acting when the math says act. Build your structure first. Emotions will follow structure. Has there been a moment in your financial life where emotion led you to make a decision that logic would have stopped? I am not asking to judge. I am asking because every single person who has built real wealth has made at least one emotional financial mistake. The difference is they reflected on it. Drop your experience below, it might be the most valuable comment someone else reads today. Chapter 10: When to hold debt and when to eliminate it. Here is a question most financial content never asks. Not how to get a loan, but when to get rid of one. Because debt is a tool for a phase, not a permanent identity. And knowing when to hold and when to release is the mark of real financial maturity. Let me give you a framework. Stage 1: Acquisition debt. This is early stage. You are using leverage to enter markets, to control assets you could not otherwise afford. Debt is your accelerator. You are aggressive but calculated. You focus on spread. You prioritize cash flow. You are building stage 2 optimization debt. Your assets are stable. Cash flow is consistent. Equity has grown. Now you stop chasing expansion blindly and start refining. Can this loan be refinanced at a better rate? Can the tenure be adjusted? Can the structure be improved? You are not growing recklessly, you are sharpening what you have. Stage 3 optional debt. This is where very few people arrive. Your assets produce strong cash flow. Your reserves are substantial. Your net worth is meaningful. You no longer need leverage. You use it only when the opportunity is exceptional and the spread is compelling. Debt is now your choice, not your necessity. And that psychological shift from needing debt to choosing it is one of the most profound feelings in a financial journey. Now, when should you actively eliminate debt? When the spread has disappeared. When the interest rate exceeds what the asset earns. When peace and stability matter more than marginal growth. When the cost of holding the debt is not justified by the return. But, and this is critical, never eliminate debt emotionally. Some people rush to pay off every loan because being debt-free feels good. That feeling is real. But it may not be financially optimal. If you hold a home loan at 8% and you are in a position to invest that extra money at 12%, which decision builds more wealth? The math says invest. But the emotion says pay off the loan. Emotion and arithmetic often disagree. In wealth building, arithmetic usually wins. Do not eliminate productive debt too early. Evaluate opportunity cost always. Every rupee used to prepay a loan is a rupee not working in an asset. But if you hold high-interest consumer debt, credit cards at 24%, personal loans at 16%, there is no debate. Eliminate it immediately. That is not leverage. That is a drain. Kill it without sentiment. Chapter 11: Diversify or Collapse. Success is comfortable. And comfort makes people complacent. You find a system that works. A city where property performs well. A type of business that scales. And the natural instinct is to double down. Keep doing what worked. More of the same. That instinct has destroyed more wealth than bad investments ever have. Because leverage magnifies concentration risk. If all your debt is tied to one city, one asset class, one income stream, one tenant, a single shift in that one thing puts your entire structure under stress simultaneously. Diversification is not about owning everything. It is about ensuring that no single event can collapse your whole system at once. Here is how to think about it. Phase 1: Concentrated competence. You master one asset type. You understand it deeply. Cash flow patterns. Risk factors. Cycle behavior. You do not rush to spread yourself thin before you have built something solid. Foundation first. Phase 2: Strategic expansion. Once your first pillar is stable and generating consistent returns, you add a second in a different category. Residential real estate and a small business. Equity investments and a rental property. Digital income and fixed income. Each pillar has different risk characteristics. When one is soft, another may be strong. Phase 3: System redundancy. Eventually you build a structure where multiple income streams exist, multiple asset classes perform, and multiple sources of spread contribute. A bad quarter in one area does not create a crisis because the others continue. This is resilience. And resilience is what allows you to take calculated risks because you know your base is protected. Diversification also applies to debt structure. Multiple lenders. A mix of loan durations. Not everything refinancing or maturing in the same year. professionals ladder their debt. They do not allow everything to come due simultaneously because rollover risk is real and rate environments change. And most importantly, diversify your knowledge. An investor who only knows real estate is vulnerable to real estate cycles. An investor who understands real estate, business fundamentals, and market dynamics can spot opportunity and danger across a much wider landscape. Knowledge is the most durable asset you will ever build. And it compounds faster than any other. What is your current investment situation? Are you focused on one asset class or do you have multiple? Comment below. And if you have been watching this whole video, you are exactly the kind of person who should hit subscribe, because this is just the beginning of what we cover here. Chapter 12: Timing the Market versus Timing Your Structure. Everyone asks the same question. Is this the right time to buy? Are rates too high? Is the market overheated? Should I wait 6 months? Wait for the next correction? And while everyone is arguing about timing the market, the wealthy are focused on something far more actionable: timing their structure. You cannot predict markets with precision. No one can. The people who sound most certain about market timing are usually the least trustworthy. But you can absolutely control your preparation, your reserves, your cash flow, your credit profile, your risk capacity. And preparation beats prediction. Every single time. Here is the reality of market cycles. During expansion, credit is cheap, confidence is high, assets are rising, borrowing feels easy. This is also when most people make their most reckless decisions. Because everything feels like it will continue forever. During peak, everything feels unstoppable. Valuations stretch. Greed spreads. This is when disciplined investors slow down and become selective. During contraction, fear spreads. Prices soften. Credit tightens. This is when prepared investors find the best opportunities. Assets that were overpriced are now reasonably priced. Cash is king. If you have reserves, you can act while others cannot. During recovery, confidence returns slowly. Early movers benefit the most. The pattern is clear. Wealth is disproportionately built during downturns, but only by people who were structurally prepared. If you overextended during expansion, contraction forces you into defense. Defense does not build wealth. So what is the right time to use leverage? When your cash flow supports the obligation comfortably. When your reserves can absorb unexpected disruptions. When your spread is positive under conservative assumptions. When your stress test says yes even in a worse than expected scenario. If those conditions are met, market timing becomes secondary. You act because your structure is ready. If those conditions are not met, no market timing makes the deal smart. Structure is the answer to the timing question. Always. Chapter 13: Building Systems That Outgrow You. There is a ceiling on personal income. It does not matter how talented you are. It does not matter how many hours you work. Time is finite. And if your income is tied directly to your time, your growth will eventually hit a wall. True financial power is not about replacing your salary with rental income and stopping there. It is about building systems that produce income with or without your daily involvement. That is a different level. And it requires a different way of thinking. When you buy a single property, you increase your income. When you build a property system, processes, tenant management, maintenance workflows, financial tracking, you increase your capacity. Adding the next property does not double your effort. It integrates into the system. Scalability. That is the goal. This applies to every asset class. A business with a management team operates without you being present at every decision. A portfolio with a systematic reinvestment strategy grows without you actively trading. A digital asset, a course, a platform, a licensed product generates income without requiring your time at every transaction. The shift is from worker to architect. Workers execute tasks. Architects design systems. And leverage works best for architects. Because architects use capital to reduce their own dependency on time, on effort, on constant presence. Every asset you acquire should answer one question: does this increase my income or increase my scalability? Income is good. Scalability is transformational. Because once your systems generate more than your lifestyle requires, income is no longer the constraint. Attention is. And what you choose to give your attention to becomes the only thing that determines your next level of growth. That is sovereignty. That is real freedom. Not a number in an account. The ability to choose where your energy goes. Chapter 14: Financial Sovereignty. When you stop needing permission. There is a stage beyond all of this. Beyond leverage. Beyond growth, beyond accumulation. It is quiet. It does not make noise. It does not demand applause. It is simply the moment when you stop asking for permission. Permission from banks. Permission from employers. Permission from market conditions. Permission from circumstances. Financial sovereignty. Let me define what this actually looks like, not in theory, but in real life. Your assets generate strong cash flow. Your loan obligations are well within what your income supports. Your reserves are healthy and untouched. Your income comes from multiple sources, so no single disruption is catastrophic. Your lifestyle is funded, not stretched. Your decisions are made from a position of choice, not urgency. You are not reactive. You are proactive. You do not fear a rate hike. You prepared for it. You do not fear a vacancy. You reserved for it. You do not fear a market correction. You positioned for it. That is sovereignty. Not because nothing bad can happen, but because when it does, you are ready. And here is the truth most people miss: sovereignty does not require extraordinary income. It requires extraordinary discipline over an ordinary time frame. The decisions you make in the next 3 to 5 years, the loans you structure, the assets you acquire, the habits you build around money will compound silently into something that looks, from the outside, like luck. It is not luck. It is structure. Built patiently. Protected carefully. Allowed to compound. If you have watched this far, you are someone who takes their financial future seriously. And that already puts you ahead of most people. I want to ask you one thing before we get to the final section. What is one financial decision you want to make differently starting today? Just one. Drop it in the comments. Write it down. Make it real. Chapter 15: The identity shift that changes everything. I want to tell you something that no spreadsheet can capture. The biggest obstacle between you and financial sovereignty is not the bank. It is not the interest rate. It is not the market. It is the story you tell yourself about money. Because your identity, what you believe you are, what you believe you deserve, what you believe is possible for someone like you, determines everything. Every decision. Every risk you take or avoid. Every time you invest or spend. Every time you hold firm or panic. If deep down you believe that wealthy people are just lucky, you will never feel in control. If you believe debt is shameful, you will avoid the tools that could accelerate you. If you believe money is something that happens to you instead of something you build, you will always be waiting. The wealth identity does not wait. It thinks structurally. It tracks numbers. It asks the right questions. It reinvests without applause. It delays gratification without resentment. And the most important thing about the wealth identity, you do not have to be wealthy to adopt it. You adopt it first, wealth follows. Not by pretending. Not by performing. But by changing how you make decisions today with whatever you have. Even if you are starting with 10,000 rupees and one small investment, the wealth identity asks, how do I allocate this optimally? What is the return? What is the risk? What does this position me for in 3 years? The broke identity asks, how do I get through this month? Same person. Different question. Different trajectory. Choose your question. Choose your identity. And the decisions and eventually the outcomes will follow. Final chapter: integration. Becoming structurally unbreakable. Let us bring it all together. This entire video has been about one thing: using the system intelligently instead of being used by it. And the path is clear. You start with awareness. You look at your financial life honestly, no ego, no denial. You know your debt, your income, your assets, your spread, your reserves. Then you build the foundation. Eliminate toxic debt. Build cash reserves. Stabilize your cash flow. Create margin. Margin is the space between what comes in and what goes out. Without it, any shock becomes a crisis. Then you deploy intelligent leverage. Not for status. Not for appearances. For assets that generate cash flow and appreciate over time. You calculate spread carefully. You stress test every acquisition. You move when the math says yes. Then you optimize. You refinance when it improves your structure. You diversify when concentration increases risk. You refine, adjust, protect. Then you scale systems. You reduce your dependence on your own time. You shift from doing to designing. Then your identity evolves. You stop chasing money. You start allocating it. You stop reacting to headlines. You start reading structures. Then durability becomes your priority. Reserves. Conservative leverage ratios. Lifestyle discipline even as income grows. Generational thinking. And then sovereignty. Where you do not need permission. Where you choose. Where volatility is anticipated rather than feared. Where the bank is a tool you use, not a gate you beg at. This path is not glamorous. There will be years where progress feels slow. There will be months where your numbers do not look impressive. There will be moments where people around you question your decisions, why you are not upgrading, why you are reinvesting, why you are thinking 10 years out when they are thinking about next weekend. Let them. Because compounding rewards patience with compound interest rewards no one who quits early. The bank is not your enemy. The system is not broken. The only broken thing, the only thing that needs fixing is the financial education most of us never received. And today, you received a piece of it. Now here is your next step. Not next month. Not after you feel ready. Now. Audit your current financial position. Look at every loan you have. Calculate the spread on every asset you own. Know your numbers, because you cannot build what you cannot see. Before I let you go, I want to tell you about something I have built specifically for people who are serious about this. Tool segment: your loan clarity tool. If you are someone who has taken a loan or is planning to and you have invested that money into an asset, you need to know one thing above everything else. Are you actually making money or losing it? Not roughly. Not approximately. Precisely. That is why I built the Loan Tracker and P&L tool, a digital tool designed specifically for investors who use debt to build wealth. Here is what it does. You enter your loan details, the amount, the interest rate, the tenure, the ME. Then you enter the asset you invested that money into: a property, a mutual fund, a stock portfolio, a business. The tool tracks both simultaneously. It calculates your actual profit or loss after accounting for interest costs. It shows you your real spread, not the number you hoped for, but the number that is actually happening. It tracks appreciation, rental income, dividends, whatever your asset generates, and puts it against your loan repayment in real time. It shows you when your loan cost has been covered, when you are truly in profit. And if the numbers ever go wrong, it alerts you before it becomes a problem. This is the tool I wish had existed when I started. Because when you are borrowing to invest, visibility is everything. Blind investing with leverage is not strategy. It is gambling. If you want access to this tool, drop the word track in the comments or send me a direct message. I will personally share the link with everyone who reaches out. This is for serious investors only. If you watched this entire video, you are serious. So let me know and I will get it to you. Closing. We have covered a lot today. 3 types of people. 2 types of debt. The difference between leverage and over-leverage. The mathematics of spread. Inflation as an ally, credit positioning. Compounding machines. Psychological traps. When to hold and when to eliminate debt. Diversification. Timing structure over timing markets. Systems that outgrow you. And financial sovereignty. That is a lifetime of financial thinking compressed into one video. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. So before you close this, do one thing. Just one. Write down one financial decision you will make differently this week. One loan you will look at with new eyes. One asset you will evaluate with a spread calculation. One reserve you will start building. One identity shift you will commit to. One thing. This week. Because the bank will keep running whether you understand it or not. The question is, will you keep funding it or will you start using it? The choice is yours. And now, for the first time, you have enough information to make it intelligently. Thank you for watching until the end. It means more than you know. If this video added value, please like it. Please share it with one person in your life who needs to hear this. And subscribe because we are just getting started. And drop a comment. Tell me what landed hardest. Tell me what surprised you. Tell me what you are going to do differently. I read every comment. And I will see you in the next one.